Hello, Walking Dead fans all over the world. This is your boy Testify to the Music, aka Mikey Savage. Wait. Before you turn out the video, I know my last video when I did The Walking Dead wasn't exactly up to par. I had some bad information and I got a little confused. I know that group that got blown up with the rocket launchers, Negan was not among them. They all refer to themselves as Negan, but the actual character Negan didn't make his appearance until last night's season finale. So I apologize for that. I was not trying to just do that for views. I got a little confused on that. So again, my apologies for that. But with that being said, hello again, Walking Dead fans. This is your boy, Testify to the Music, aka Mikey Savage 21. And today I'm going to be giving my review on the episode of season 6, episode 16, entitled Last Day on Earth. And I am not alone in this video, for I am joined with a very special guest. And this is my actual second time doing a collab video with somebody. So I'm very excited for this. And I want to get you guys to give a warm welcome to DeZ HD. DeZ HD, say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's up? I'm DeZ HD, and I do videos on my channel about different social issues, and I'm also covering some entertainment. Right now, the only entertainment video that I have up is the Walking Dead video. It's pretty much discussing who's gonna die next. I know there's a lot of videos out there like that, but I just wanted to go ahead and put my take on it. So, you guys make sure to check that out whenever you get a chance.
Yes, and I'll make sure I have a link to both his Facebook page and his YouTube so you guys can go check out his videos. Again, he's a great YouTuber and a great Facebooker. He's utilizing Facebook very well. You don't see too many people taking advantage of using the Facebook videos. So you guys definitely go check out what he's got going on. But all right, guys, we're going to jump straight into this review and give our overall thoughts. And what I'm going to do is we're going to section this off. First, we're going to talk about the episode as a whole, like the review and everything. Then in the next video that I'll have posted, we'll talk about speculation, who we think that Negan killed at the end based on evidence that we have and the situation with the trees and how it was positioned and everything. And then finally, what we'll do is we'll just talk about season 6 as a whole and just essentially just talk about what we thought and give our general thoughts over this season as we get ready for season 7 coming up. So without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into this video. So starting right off the bat, the episode is called Last Day on Earth. I know a lot of people were wondering, why was it not called Something to Fear? Because issue 100 was called Something to Fear. So everyone's like, why wasn't this episode called Something to Fear? For me, I think the reason they didn't call it Something to Fear is because that's probably what the next episode for season 7, episode 1 is probably going to be called Something to Fear, because now Negan really has given us as the audience and Rick's group something to fear. Des, what do you think about that, man?
Oh yeah, they definitely they definitely have something to fear, and everybody's pretty much going to be worried about who actually died. I think another reason why they changed the episode from something to fear to last day on Earth is mainly because they want to separate that what's going on in the comics with what's going on TV. But
Right.
still, I do believe that we're going to have a lot of similarities, and they're not going to stray that far away from what's going on in the comics. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing episode 1 in season 7.
Right. Same here. Same here. And so pretty much there weren't that many storylines going on in this. You were following Rick's group. That was, of course, that was the main story. And then you had the Carol and Morgan thing going on.
Hmm.
Now for me, uh, as far as the Morgan and Carol story going, I know a lot of people and a lot of reviewers, they thought it was boring. They thought, no, this shouldn't have been in here. It should have been all about Rick's group. I like that Morgan found Carol right away, and they didn't be like, okay, we're just not going to have her in there at all. We'll just wait till see. No, I'm glad that we kind of figured out, okay, yes, Morgan found her. Morgan tried to bring her back and everything, and she was like, I don't want to go back. And if you guys haven't realized by now, we're going to get into some major spoilers.
Major.
We haven't dropped any just yet. So if you're still tuning in, you might want to mute this, or you might just want to come back later on after you've seen the episode, because we're going to get into some major, major spoilers. So, okay, the first thing with the whole Morgan Carroll thing, Morgan has killed somebody now.
Oh yeah, That's interesting. I didn't think that he would go there, but he did, and I was actually kind of happy to see him do that because I felt like if he didn't realize anytime soon that he was going to have to kill, especially with what's coming up, then he was going to be toast because the saviors they do not mind killing at all.
Yeah, from what we've seen, they don't mind killing at all. But the fact that Morgan just pulled the trigger and he not only shot the guy one time, not two times, six
Oh
times.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, Morgan, I think you've been holding that in for a while. You've been wanting to kill somebody, but you're like, I'm going by what Eastman taught me that all life is precious and I'm not gonna kill. And so I think in that moment he was just like, I'm just gonna have a super bad moment. I'm just gonna unload it all into this guy. I know he's dead after the first shot, but I'm gonna keep going. Even after the third headshot, it's like, no, no, I still gotta keep firing away. Now, with Carol, what I found interesting with her is in this episode, I felt kind of bad for Carol because I guess, we've seen the progression of her over the seasons. We've seen her, come into her own. She started out as this abused housewife who went on to lose her husband and went on to lose her daughter. And we just kept seeing her get more and more tough and more active. And now to see the state that she in, it's a little sad because it gets to the point where you have the guy, he's standing right there over her and shoots her in the arm, and she's like, hurry up and kill me already. Why did you shoot me in the arm? And then she shoots her in the leg, and it's like, keep on shooting. I'm ready to die. And I'm like, Carol, what? I was like, just because you die, that just means that you're dead, but your friends and family are still going to suffer. Just because you're not here anymore on this earth, that doesn't mean that's going to make the pain go away. They're still going to be suffering. It's just that you won't be there to actually witness it.
Right, right. And this is all reminding me of a lot of what happened to her character in the comics. And this is going to be comic spoilers for anybody who hasn't read any of the Walking Dead comics. But in the comics, Carol died in a prison, and she actually fed herself to the zombies because she went crazy. She couldn't handle all of what was going on around her, much like what is happening with the Carol in the television series. So this is an interesting take on it.
I agree. I agree. And again, it's just weird seeing her character like this. And when we kind of saw hints of it when her and Maggie got captured, we saw a little bit hints of that. Like, okay, what's gonna happen? What's going? You shouldn't be here, and it's just real confusing. And again, it's just good to see the progression of a character, but at the same time, it's just kind of weird, though.
Right, right. It's I like where it's going. Yeah, I didn't see them like going this route with Carol. I thought they were going to keep her as the strong character the entire time. But like I said though, it's interesting to see like where they're taking her, and I honestly don't know what's going to happen next. Because like I said, Carol, she died a long time ago in the comics, and she's still alive now. And I don't think that she's going to commit suicide or anything like that. That's what a lot of other that's what a lot of other people are saying. But I don't think she's going to go that route.
Yeah, I agree. I don't hardly see the character committing suicide, and then I know everyone speculated saying, "Oh, she's gonna get captured and she's gonna be the one to get the Lucille treatment."
Oh no.
But and for me personally, with the whole Lucille treatment, well, you know what? I'll say that for later on.
Mhm.
But no, okay. But it was interesting to see what they had going with the Carol Morgan thing. I could possibly see a little spark of love interest there. I know that'd be a little weird because he has this whole thing going with Tobin. But now that they're going off, and again, this is spoilers, they're going off to the kingdom and everything.
Mhm.
I don't think Tobin's really going to be much of a factor anymore. But I could you possibly see like a little romance between Morgan and Carol, especially now that they're almost kind of on the same side. We don't know how Morgan is feeling. We don't know if he's still gonna go by his code of all life is precious. This was just that one time when he was about to kill someone that I care about, and I could not allow that to happen.
Right. Um, I don't think that they're gonna go that route because she has something going on with Daryl. That kind of ended, and then with Tobin, that's still going on. He's not dead or anything. And then with Morgan being there, I just don't think. I don't think so. I think they're just gonna have a strong bond. But as far as the relationship, nah, I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Plus, I know a lot of people weren't happy with the whole Rashon thing because of the whole interracial thing. So I don't think it's good to 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 pluck at that string again. If
Right.
people are, people are starting to come around to it now. But if you do it again, some people might not come around to the whole Morgan and Carol relationship.
Agreed.
Now, getting back, to the main story about Rick's group, I'm not gonna lie. Negan Saviors have proven that they are smart. They outsmarted Rick in this. Every single time they tried to take a different path, it was always blocked by something.
Oh yeah. Negan, he's not an idiot. He's very smart, and we're gonna see that, I believe, in the next season, that he's pretty tactical, and more tactical than the governor, definitely. He's making the governor look like something from the Disney Channel at this point.
Exactly, exactly.
So they have a lot to get in order. They have a lot to work with and a lot to work on, because Rick thought he was pretty much the baddest person, in that I guess around, and now he's figuring out that, just like Negan said, he is he's he's not the crowd. What did he say? Um, he doesn't know as much as he think he does. He's finding out that he knows nothing.
Pretty much, yeah, because you could even see it as this season or this half mid season was going on. Rick was just confident. It's like, we got this, we got
Oh
this.
yeah.
When they go into the warehouse and they slaughter everybody in their sleep, he's like, man, we got this, we got this. Even after that's going on, and Maggie and Carol get captured, he's still like, we got this, we got this. All right, they make it back to Alexandria, and he's still like, "Man, we got this." And then this episode, from the get go, he was like, "Man, we got this, man." He's like, "Look, we don't need to worry about Negan's group. We have taken out most of Negan's men, and we can do it again."
Right.
But what he does not know is that Negan, and this is weird because in the comic book series, it seemed like he only had maybe about 100, and they only like maybe killed a few.
Mhm.
But in the TV series, I want to say they at least killed at least about 75 of his men.
Right. Yeah, they definitely killed a lot more in the TV series than they did in the comic. Yeah, they're what I like about the television series. I feel like they have more of an opportunity to add more background to these different characters, and that's what's making people fall just, have like this emotional connection, and we're getting to understand a lot of these different characters a lot better. Kind of like what they did with Dwight. We didn't get that backstory with Dwight like we did in the TV show. We didn't get that in the comics. So this, I like it. I like what they're doing, man. Keep it going.
I agree. I agree 100%. And I mean, like I said, Ray, he just thought he had it all figured out. And then I like Eugene. I've got to say I like the progression of Eugene. Eugene's like, hey man, I'm gonna anchor it down. I'm gonna be your anchor man. I got this. And then he ends up getting captured again,
Right.
which which at that point I'm just kind of like, wait a minute, this is not the first time. Now the second time you have been captured by Dwight. I'm starting to think, yeah, maybe you shouldn't go off by yourself anymore. But I like how he had the idea of like, okay, I'm gonna drive and you guys just go through the woods and everything. Uh, I don't know. This whole episode was just crazy, and the appearance of Negan. We have got to talk about the appearance of Negan.
Man.
What did you think? What did you think about Negan?
Negan, like the guy who's playing him, I forgot his name.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, I think he did a pretty good job. Some people weren't that impressed, but I think he did a pretty good job. Like, Negan's cocky, he's kind of funny. We're gonna see a lot of that in the next season. I feel like. Also, something else that I noticed that a lot of the other comic fans noticed, that Negan's speech there at the end was pretty much word for word, when you compare it to the comics. Like, it was word for word. Even some of the things that he did, like when he put his ear up to Rick's mouth, it was he he did all of that in the comics. Like, this really seems like it's gonna go the way it went in the comics, and I won't be surprised if the character gets killed off that does in the comics.
Right, right. I gotta say, I definitely love the appearance of Negan here. I thought Negan, he was perfectly cast. I know some of the complaints were, he's not as built as Negan, but Jeffrey Dean Morgan might have gotten this at the last minute. It was like, okay, I need to get Negan up. I need to kind of even more study this character, and they probably gave it to him at the last minute.
Right,
And I'm pretty sure once he comes back, he'll look more like the Negan from the comic book and everything. He'll be more built out and everything. He'll really fill out the character. I know also some people were like, he was more so serious in this than more so funny. Because like in the comic book series, he's, got that presence, but he's also funny about it at the same time.
right.
As opposed with this one, he was more so straight serious. But I could understand that because he's like, there's nothing happy going on. I'm about to kill one of you guys. There's nothing absolutely happy about that. One of you guys, it's your last day on Earth. So why would I, be Mr. Cocky and jovial and everything? Because that just, if he did that, if anything, I feel like he would just be adding more salt to the wound, pretty much.
Right, right. I think he added. I think he did add some salt to the wound. He pretty much talked a bunch of crap to him before he killed whoever he killed. That was if I was if I knew nothing about the comic and I was watching this for the first time, I would I would be pretty PO'd, like definitely, because I'm sitting here hoping that my favorite character doesn't die, and this dude is just going on and on and on, telling me and telling like the people who I care about, these characters that I care about, he's pretty much telling them that he's the man, he's about to kill one of us, and this is the way it's gonna go.
Right, I understand that, and I'm not mad at the cliffhanger ending because they even told us in multiple interviews that this was going to be the biggest cliffhanger that they've had since The Walking Dead has been on,
Hmm.
even more so bigger than the one that they had in season 5. So I mean, I'm not mad at all about that cliffhanger ending. Again, it gives us fans, chance to speculate and talk with each other about, okay, I think it was this person. Plus, it lets us use our brains and try to figure out who it is because like that meme you posted, Walking Dead fans for the next couple of months are gonna be studying those trees and be like, okay, this character was facing this tree. Okay, so that means this character got the Lucille treatment. And I actually have my own theories that we'll get into in the other video about who I think it is and who it definitely isn't
Hmm.
got the Lucille treatment
Right,
because they kind of gave us a big hint of who it is just from Negan's dialect after he had bashed whoever's head it was in. He actually said a line there that explains, hey, look at you taking it like a champ. That kind of explains who it could possibly be.
right.
But for me, giving this a score, from the entire episode, and you guys on my channel, I like to do everything out of 5. It's a little easier to do everything out of 5 instead of out of 10. For me, I'd give this episode, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I like everything that they had going here. I like the Carol Morgan story. I like how, they met up with the guys from the Kingdom. Now, next season, we're going to be introduced to the guys from the Kingdom. And if for you guys who don't know who the Kingdom is, again, this is like a major spoiler for the comics. Uh, Essentially, the Kingdom, they're the guys that like live in medieval times. Pretty much, they wear armor and stuff, which is actually kind of smart because that way, if a walker bites you, you're not affected. You're wearing armor. They believe in using swords and spears and stuff as opposed to using guns and bullets because like like they said at the hilltop and other places, bullets are very scarce.
Right.
They're very scarce, so it's almost to the point where it's like, yeah, I think that'd be the smart choice to use something like a sword or maybe a spear, and to wear armor and stuff. That way, if you get shot, you're wearing armor, so it's like, okay, I can still keep going unless they get a headshot on you. Otherwise, you can still keep going. But I like how they introduced the kingdom the way they did. I'm like that they didn't try to rush
Oh
to
yeah.
show us what the kingdom looked like because you don't want to rush things. That's one of my biggest concerns with some TV shows. They try to rush too much into like to the season finale,
Hmm.
and I don't think feel like you should do that. With this, pretty much it did. It took the issue 100 something to fear, and it cut it in half. So we got half of the comic book in this season 6 finale, and then once the season 7 premiere comes on, that'll be the other half of Something to Fear. That's why I think it's going to be called Something to Fear. I like how Negan came onto the screen. I like how he was stalking them. Then the whistling. I love the
Oh
whistling
yeah.
that added to the effect of Negan is coming. Negan is coming, and the whistling and going on, and then uh, you have everyone like Daryl, and you have Glenn and Rosita and Michonne. They're all in the back of the truck, and you just see like glimmers of light and everything, and you're just like, who is that? Who is that? And then you show that Daryl, no, he's not dead. That indeed Dwight shot him in the shoulder because he did say at the end of the episode, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
And again, this is also going to go into speculation in our next video about why I think he shot Daryl the way he did in the shoulder. Because if Daryl didn't die, there's a reason why Dwight shot him in his shoulder essentially. But I like that, and I like the what I really like is Rick. Rick's expression throughout the entire time when Negan came on screen was priceless. You could tell that he was like, I'm wrong. I thought I had this all figured out. This is the governor. No, this is worse than the governor.
Right.
It's like I said, this is like the governor from Disney Channel. This is this guy is not kidding. He has all these men, because let's just say it, I'm gonna call it and say he has at least about maybe over 200 people.
200. Yeah, that's probably close. That's close. Probably more than that. But he definitely does not have a shortage of men.
I agree, because even with all the men that they killed, it's still like, wow, they still have this massive number, and they still have all of this. Because of course, you knew Negan's gonna keep his baddest of his bad with him by his side. He's not gonna send them out. He's gonna send like these little squabbles, little squeebs out, to be like, okay, you're the general of this group, you go this way. You're the general of this group, you take the little couple of weaklings and you go off that way.
Right.
Because even with the episode, what was it? Episode 13, the same boat.
Mhm.
When you have all these characters, you have Polly, Michelle, Molly, Donnie. You have all these characters who are just these bad A's essentially, but at the end they still get taken out, and it's just kind of like, oh, well, hey, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. If you thought they were tough, you had to see who Negan keeps around him. So I like that. And I just, again, this has got to be one of my second favorite episodes. Of course, the mid-season premiere is still my favorite one of all, because that was just like a complete onslaught, pretty much.
Right.
No Way Out, like I said, No Way Out, that has absolutely got to be my favorite one. And then, of course, Last Day on Earth is going to be number two. And then if the first episode really is called Something to Fear, that's probably going to take the place and be number two, if not number one. So, again, for me, I would give this a 4.5 out of 5. It was a solid episode, great episode. I feel like, that they did a good job of setting things up for season 7. I'm not too mad about the cliffhanger, because again, shows do that all the time, and what they're doing is they want to make sure that we come back.
Uh,
Because if they would have revealed to us who's dead, who's to say that the people were going to come back or not? They'd be like, oh well, they've killed all my favorite character. Now I have no reason to watch. Now they're giving people a reason to watch, because now it's like, okay, I need to know, did my favorite character get killed or not?
right. Right. That's a good point to make. Now, my opinion about that. Now hearing you say that, that's a good point because some people really would have just abandoned the TV show. Especially if Daryl dies. If he died last night, people probably would have just like gave up on it. A lot of people are saying that right now, so it's a good move, and I think I'll give it a 4 only because I'm kind of uncomfortable with how they did that because we started the season out knowing that somebody was going to die at the end of the season and they didn't show it. Like I get why they did it. I don't like that they did it though. Like it's a bittersweet. It's a bittersweet, but it was still a good episode.
Right, I got you. I got you. Because I mean, even in the when the mid-season premiere came back with No Way Out, I know for me, I did it purposely. I went to Trev versus Chan 2. Guys make sure you go check out. He's a great walking tube YouTuber, the best one that we have around. Next to Dez, of course, there is.
Thanks.
Uh, and I like how he and I went into the video knowing that I was gonna get spoiled and everything, and I knew that Jesse and her family were gonna die before it even happened because I was like, you know what, it's fine, I don't mind spoiling it for myself, and I went in thinking, okay, I know they're gonna die, but how are they gonna die, and when are they gonna die, and what's gonna be the result of them dying? I had no idea that they were gonna shoot Carl's eye out in that episode. No idea that's the way they were gonna go. But I didn't know all three of them were gonna die, and so I guess for this one, if spoilers would have came out, for who was gonna die, I possibly, for this one for season finales, I don't like to spoil myself, but for you know mid-season premieres and stuff like that, or even for like maybe the first episode coming back from a long break, I don't mind a little bit of a spoiler, but not too much of a major spoiler. But hey, I respect you on the 4 or 5 out of 5 thing, man. Again, a lot of people were upset that we left on a cliffhanger that big because now it's just pretty much like,
Hmm.
what are we gonna do now? You just kind of, because some people felt like this was a big f you to the face. Let's just say a lot of fans were like, this is like a big f you to the face. Like you just took a foot and stuck it up someone's rear end. That's exactly what they did.
Right.
Because on I was watching Talking Dead last night, and they were writing in saying how angry and how mad they were about everything that was going on. And I was just like, why are y'all so angry? I was like, this is not Game of Thrones. In Game of Thrones, they show you who's gonna die, and then you make the option of whether you want to come back or not. That's a risk that they take.
Hmm.
AMC does not want to make that same mistake, so they're like, okay, we're not gonna show who died. We're just gonna show you from the person of who died, and they even showed that to us in the trailer, the promo before the episode even came out last night. They showed us we're gonna see from the eyes of who's getting their head smashed in. So I can't fault it for doing that. Again, I think that's a ballsy move for them to do that. And again,
Hmm.
it's smart at the same time as well. But there's any other final thoughts on this episode as
Yeah.
a whole, man? Before we jump into the next video talking
Um.
about speculation.
Um. It was a good episode. I don't like how they. I'm not too happy about how they ended it. They, I get it. I get it. But I also understand where the rest of the Walking Dead fans are coming from because it is kind of a big fu to the fans because they want to keep other people entertained and they want to have that big doing that.
Yeah, you're going in and out again.
Okay, let me move around back in the house. I was saying that they want to make sure that season 7 has a big opening, and if that's what their goal is, then they're doing the right thing by not showing who got killed off at the end of season 6.
I agree. That was a smart strategy by them. All right, so guys, you've heard what we think about it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Dez HD, he gave it a 4 out of 5. But what do you ultimately think? Post your thoughts in the comment section below. Go spoiler heavy all you want to. Save who you think died for the next video that we're going to have posted. But again, I want to know your thoughts. We want to know your thoughts. Like, what exactly is your emotional state? What would you rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 5? What would you give it? How were your feelings last night? How exactly did you feel? How did it affect you? Do you think your favorite character is dead? Post all of that in the comment section below, and we'll make sure we get back to you and comment as soon as we can. Also, before I forget, I want to also talk about the next couple of videos that we have coming up. Again, if you're coming into this late, we're also going to post a video up of what do we think of season 6 in its entirety, and we're also going to post a speculation video about who we think is dead based on what we have. Now, again, this is going to be solely going off of what we saw last night. We don't have footage online just yet to use, but once we do, we'll make sure we come back and analyze that just to kind of back up our claims about who we think died. But again, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you like this video, make sure you smash that like button. Also, make sure you go subscribe to the channel so you can get more videos like this. Also, make sure you go subscribe to DeZ HD's channel on Facebook and on YouTube. I'll make sure I post the proper links so you can go check those out. DeZ, anything else you want to say to people before we wrap this video up?
Nothing too much. Just make sure to check out the next video. That's the one I'm very excited about. I can't wait to speculate about the big character death.
Same here, man. Same here. Well, with that being said, guys, thank you again so much for tuning into this video. I'm Testify to the Music, aka Mikey Savage 21, saying peace out, guys.